Welcome back to the channel. Today, we dive into the latest Manchester United news. Viktor Gyökeres sends a transfer reminder to Ruben Amorim, Erik Ten Hag's signings face frustration, and fans take to the streets in protest against the Glazers and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Plus, David Raya's reaction to United's performance. Stay tuned for all the details. Viktor Gyökeres sends Ruben Amorim transfer reminder as Man Utd agreement expires. Viktor Gyökeres has sent a timely message to Manchester United after being linked with a move to Old Trafford. Gyokeres has been frequently tipped to be a potential target for United when the summer transfer window opens. United currently have Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee as their center-forward options, with former Arsenal Academy starlet Chido Obi also getting game time in recent days. On Sunday, Sporting Lisbon claimed a 3-1 victory over Casa Pia in the Primera Liga clash at the Estadio Municipal de Rio Maior. Gyokeres scored 2 goals in the game, including one from the penalty spot, sending a clear message to United in the process. Gyokeres has now scored a whopping 39 goals in 40 appearances for Sporting this season and is likely to be the subject of intense transfer speculation in the summer. United were heavily linked with the Sweden international in January, particularly after Ruben Amorim's appointment as the club's head coach. Amorim coached Gyokeres earlier this season during his time as Sporting manager, and brought the striker to the club from Coventry City back in 2023. Soon after arriving at Old Trafford, Amorim was asked about the possibility of signing any players from Sporting, revealing he had a gentleman's agreement not to do so in January but did not rule out that changing in the summer. "I won't sign Sporting players in January. That's what I said," said Amorim. "I don't know about the summer. The first point is to hold on until the summer. Sporting's players are very good players. I don't know, we'll see. I know the phenomenon of football, especially in England, and I know how things change." Various reports have claimed that Gyokeres has a €100 million, £84 million, release clause in his contract at Sporting. However, there have been some suggestions that the striker could be allowed to leave for a fee of around £68.5 million. Erik Ten Hag signing frustrated from the start as Manchester United quintet overlooked. Manchester United secured a respectable point by drawing 1-1 with Arsenal at Old Trafford on Sunday afternoon. Bruno Fernandes fired the Reds in front on the stroke of halftime with a wonderful free kick before Arsenal responded with just over 15 minutes to go viaduct a fine finish from Declan Rice. United had their fair share of chances either side of Rice's effort and ought to have taken all 3 points. Away from matters at Old Trafford, it was once again a contrasting weekend for United's army of loanees, both domestically and overseas. The club currently has a plethora of players out on loan following the January transfer window. With that said, Men's Sport has taken a close look at how those in action over the weekend got on. Marcus Rashford stepped off the bench in the second half on Saturday evening as Aston Villa got the better of Brentford, winning 1-0 at the Gtech Community Stadium via a second-half winner from Ollie Watkins. Rashford came on after 68 minutes to replace Jacob Ramsey. His cameo featured more defensive contributions than attacking ones, as he completed 2 clearances and won 2 tackles. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Jadon Sancho was restored to the Chelsea starting lineup as they scraped past Leicester City with a 1-0 win at Stamford Bridge. He was one of the Blues' brighter attackers and won the first-half penalty that Cole Palmer subsequently missed. Dropping down into League 2, Ethan Williams was unable to prevent Cheltenham Town from sliding to second successive defeat, as they lost 1-0 at home to Colchester United. The United youngster has been in good form of late, contributing 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 6 appearances. Elsewhere in League 2, Reece Bennett started and stored 90 minutes under his belt as Fleetwood Town were denied a victory over Port Vale, drawing 1-1. The Valiants equalized via a 96th-minute penalty after Fleetwood had taken an 81st-minute lead. Meanwhile, Joe Hugill, who was on loan at Carlisle United, appeared as a second-half substitute as they were beaten 1-0 in the 95th minute away at Harrogate Town. However, Ethan Ennis, who is currently at Doncaster Rovers, Sonny Algeoffrey, who is at Accrington Stanley, and Sam Mather, who joined Tranmere Rovers last month, were each unused substitutes on Saturday afternoon. Ethan Wheatley and Lewis Jackson did not feature in the Walsall or Tranmere matchday squads, respectively. In the National League, young centre-back Jack Kingdon started and stored 90 minutes under his belt as Rochdale beat Wealdstone 4-1 at the Crown Oil Arena. They now find themselves just 2 points shy of the final playoff spot, and they have games in hand on those immediately above them in the table. Overseas, Antony started as Real Betis edged past Las Palmas on Sunday, winning 1-0, despite not claiming the assist for or scoring the winner. I was at Manchester United protest march, and Ratcliffe and Glazer can't ignore this anger any longer. We've had 20 years of this S***T. As a way of summing up why thousands of Manchester United fans have gathered on a junction of Talbot Road, wearing black in the spring sunshine and carrying banners venting their anger, it is both pithy and accurate. These are the words of Steve Crompton, spokesperson for the 1958 group, which was behind Sunday's protest and helped to mobilize up to 5,000 supporters on a day of significance, given the presence of two of the people these scenes were aimed at in the director's box. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is well aware that his stock with supporters has fallen dramatically over the past year. As the march weaved its way along the near mile-long route from the Tollgate pub to Old Trafford, there were regular reminders that hiking tickets to £66 and doing away with concessions was Ratcliffe. A more direct and offensive chant lumping Ratcliffe into the same category as the Glazers was also regularly aired. Any hope that Ineos' arrival as minority investors last February would herald a new dawn has been quickly washed away. The hope has been extinguished. A first half pockmarked by chants against the Glazers from the Stretford end led the TV director to focus a close-up on Ratcliffe in the stands. What they didn't realize was that the forehead on show in the seat in front of Ratcliffe was that of a Glazer, not Joel or Avram, but the more indistinguishable Edward, an extremely rare attendee at United games. Joel and Avram are the siblings most invested in United, but it was Edward who gave them a presence at the club they own for the first time in years. He was so unrecognizable that he could have probably gone on the march without anyone recognizing him, despite social media filling with rumors of a Glazer attendee at the match on Sunday morning. One thing is for sure. When Edward gets back across the Atlantic, he can report to his brothers just how detested they remain in Manchester. Ratcliffe heard that firsthand as well. The problem is that none of those involved seem to care. But this anger just cannot be ignored. Critics will scoff that this wouldn't be happening if United weren't mid-table in the Premier League, but it's about so much more than football. It's about the debt the Glazers have saddled United with in a takeover that should bring eternal shame to the football authorities in this country. Killing our club since 2005, read one banner. £1 billion stolen was written another, referencing the debt repayments that have brought a giant football club to its knees. They all marched behind a banner reading, RIP Fan Culture 878-2025. The Glazers have ripped a hole in this club, but it is Ratcliffe who is now stripping it of its soul. Redundancies, cutbacks, petty penny pinching. It has been a year that has left United with a hollow feeling. David Raya denies world-class claim and reveals disappointment with Man United performance. Arsenal goalkeeper David Raya disagreed with Peter Schmeichel's assessment that he had put in a world-class performance in Sunday's draw against Manchester United. Raya made a number of big saves as Mikel Arteta's team earned a point at Old Trafford, with Declan Rice equalizing after Bruno Fernandes broke the deadlock in first-half stoppage time. However, the Spaniard felt his distribution left a bit to be desired. Arsenal have now gone 3 games without a win in the Premier League after losing to West Ham and drawing at Nottingham Forest. They sit 15 points behind leaders Liverpool with a game in hand, and 4 ahead of Forest in third. Former United keeper Schmeichel was covering the game for Premier League Productions and was full of praise for Raya. However, the Gunners' star, ever the perfectionist, still felt there was room for improvement. Defensively, yes. Attacking, I could have done a little bit better, Raya said, as reported by Metro. The standards that I give to myself and I with the team, I should have been better with decision-making sometimes in the second half where we could have played more to break the press. Sometimes United press very well, very aggressively man-to-man, and it's tough, but my demands are a bit higher than that and I want to do the best for the team. I know I made a few passes that were risky and I put William Saliba into a little bit of trouble, but that's just my standards. Schmeichel was particularly impressed with a save he called unbelievable in the final minute. Raya first stopped an effort from Fernandes, and then quickly got back to his feet to prevent the ball spinning back over the line. Arsenal scorer Rice also pointed to Raya's save after the final whistle. However, the former West Ham star used it as an example of the team coming close to throwing away a point rather than their keeper saving one. The chance at the end with Bruno and David making two great saves, that's why I say that naivety, Rice told Sky Sports. It was down to us and we could have thrown the game away. Like the manager said, we'll keep going until the end of the season. Liverpool have been amazing all year. We're Arsenal. We've been hit hard by injuries. We'll keep going and we'll be all right. Next up for Arsenal is the second leg of their Champions League round of 16 tie against PSV, with manager Arteta expected to ring the changes after winning 7-1 in Eindhoven. Their final league game before the international break comes at home to Chelsea, who sit just 6 points behind their fellow Londoners after beating Leicester on Sunday.